Alright, welcome back. This episode we are going to make the foot peg mounts as well as the foot pegs and everything. So for the foot peg mounts, I started out by just taking a piece of plywood and cutting them out just so I can get a look at what they're going to look like. So that one's going to bolt to these two bolts and these two studs that were for the belt tensioner. Since I'm tensioning it at the back of the axle plate, I'm not going to use that anymore. So we'll run it like that. Then this little cutout, this is going to be a sheet metal chain guard that I'll make. This is your peg mount. I might drill one more hole into the swing arm mount and thread it for one more hole there. And then we're going to mount the master cylinder in that orientation with the pivot here for the brake. So yeah, we got that made up. On the other side, we got this one made up. So it'll sit like that. On the other side, foot peg goes there. We've already mark them all out on a piece of 1/2-inch aluminum so we can cut those out, but first we're going to remove these studs, which might be a pain in the ass, but we're going to try to remove them. They're not long enough to get on there, so we're going to remove them, put just their course to the engine, fine out here. We're just going to run all course. So we'll double up a nut. Eric Buell liked to have suspenders and belts on everything and put Loctite on everything. So we're going to heat the hell out of this and hopefully it'll come out. So yeah, we'll get to that, see how that goes, and then we'll start cutting this stuff out on the bandsaw. Alright, so this peg mount, this is a big one. This is the one that's going to take the most amount of work, so this is all I'm working on right now. And it's kind of a set distance because it's got to be, a certain distance away from the chain. So I will figure out how far it's out from the motor, and then I'll do the same on the other side, the spacers, and bring it closer. So it's sticking out a little far right now, so I'll cut the spacers and make them closer. This is where the peg's going to be, 1-inch round peg. The toe peg is going to be about here once you're sitting on it. Kind of like videotape myself with my foot when I was sitting on the bike, and it's going to come to just off of here. I'm going to make it 5 1/4 inches away from the edge, from the forward edge of the foot peg mount. All these, they're all going to be countersunk. These are going to be, I got flange nuts that I'm going to counter bore them. So I'll get the end mill, I'll get an end mill out, counter bore these things, and same with these bolts. So they'll all be sunken down. And the whole perimeter of it is going to be the same 1/2-inch thickness. And it's all going to drop down about 200 thou. I'm going to drop the whole outside down. But right now, I got a couple things that need to mount to this thing. So rear master cylinder is this off of Panigale or something. So going to mount it like that, and it's going to be sunken in. It'll kind of go in a little bit more. Your foot peg is going to be here, and it's going to come up and have a pivot up here that goes to this guy. So foot peg, brake lever is going to come forward, do that. Your peg is going to be here. So right now I've just stuck through with a pick and marked where I want to drill a hole. So I'll go do that, drill a hole. These bolt holes on the other side, I'm just going to take that out, drill straight through this threaded part, and then we'll thread this guy. And then we'll make spacers accordingly to hold this off of the piece, however much it needs to be done. But we'll get those things, we'll get these 6mm holes drilled and tapped, and we can get that. Or we got the first one drilled, and then kind of level it, get the other one marked, drill that one, and then that's that. Figure out where our pivot's going to be, mark all that. We'll put layout down on this whole thing. And we're going to make triangles in this, as there's triangles all over the bike. So they're going to match the swing arm and a bunch of other shit. So put big triangles in this whole thing, lighten it up so you can see the sprocket again, moving and everything. And I don't know if I said that these 3 tabs are going to be milled down, and they're going to be quite shallow. They're going to be threaded to accept a piece of sheet metal here. I'm going to kind of shape a chain guard. So yeah, we'll go to the drill press, we'll get this drilled, put it back on the bike, figure out where we are, get another hole drilled, and then start laying this thing out. Alright, so we got this pretty well all roughed in, got the triangles out. I'm really liking the way it's looking. We don't have a hole for the foot peg yet, and all these mounts, they all gotta be counterbored for the nuts to go in, for the bolts heads to go in, and then the rest of this is all gonna get turned down, or face down, 200 thou, like the rest of these steps will all be sunken in. The mounts are gonna be the same height, so I'm gonna put this on the rotary table and go around them, make them all look nice, clean them up. Right now though, we're going to jump to the other side. The other side goes like this. I'm not sure if this is a perfect radius. I cut it on the bandsaw and kind of measured it out, so we're going to put this on the rotary table and see if we can kind of clean this up, because then we're going to make triangles here, so we'll want to have this to be a smooth edge and this to be the same for the triangles inside here, just 2 of them. And so yeah, we'll get the rotary table set up on the mill, see if we can clean that up, and then we'll move on to doing all the other stuff, and we'll throw this on the rotary table. Take the rotary table back off, lay this down, and then do all the straights, and then we can clean up all this, and then yeah, we're almost done these guys. We can move on to making pegs and brake lever, shift lever. So yeah, we get to the mill. Alright, so I missed a lot of filming on some stuff, but I don't know, it's all the same shit on the mill, doing the same thing. So I don't know how much I missed of these, but we've got this out to 10 millimeter now. So we got a 10 millimeter hole and counterboard. So that's good, got these all good, everything works. Got the pivot done. The pivots are just stainless steel bushing. That's just a couple thou, like maybe 10 thou longer than these bronze bushing or brass bushings in here. So when you tighten it up, it can still move. Same with the shifter. So got those all knocked down. They're really looking good. They weigh absolutely nothing. They're still thick enough that I think they'll be strong enough. I'm sure they'll be fine. The foot pegs I never filmed, and the toe pegs. So it's just straight knurled piece of aluminum, and then just put 5 little decorative grooves in it with a threading tool. And then this is scalped out for the clevis of the master cylinder to go in. And here are the foot pegs. Same thing. Cut it, tap to 10 millimeters. Same straight knurl. Yeah, so they look good. Right now we're going to go onto the milling machine and mill a slot in the shifter for the rod end to go in for the linkage. So we'll get that machined up. And then all this stuff, I'm gonna run over it all. Like some of this stuff's not very clean, and like these mounts for, it's actually a sheet metal cover on the chain. Those mounts are rough, so I'll grind those out, drill them, tap M6 hole in them. And then yeah, we can assemble these once we Scotch-Brite them up and make them look good, and then we can move on to the handlebars, which I got a little bit machined to that, but we'll make the rest of it. Alright, so we got all the stuff for the handlebars. So these guys made the slit in them, they worked out good. And these tapped the other side, so these will clamp together. And I'm going to space them apart with 2 washers around each bolt. So yeah, I'll just keep them spaced out, tighten them up, and then we can tack weld them on, get them all burnt in. The cope worked really good. It's at a 7-degree angle. So it's at a nice little 7-degree angle downwards, and we will get these welded on, cool them down, put them on the bike, see where we want these orientated, and then figure out the pullback that we kind of want for the bars, mark them, and then we can start tack welding them on. So just wipe this all down with acetone and we'll get to welding. Alright, so we took the bars, we got them on the, we took the clamps, put them on the forks, put the top clamp on, and then got these figured out. There's a lot of holding and this and that. It was just a pain in the ass to film, so just got them tacked up. They're both kind of pulled back the same amount, at the right angle and everything. This is all stainless steel, so, and this is like 65, this is a 16th of an inch thick is the tubing. So, since it's so thin, I don't want like sugaring inside. I don't want this whole thing to be like any kind of compromise on the weld. Seeing as you're laying across the gas tank and you've got all your weight on these bars, so I want to make them as strong as possible. So I'm gonna purge them. I'm hoping like some gas will probably escape. It's a really tight coat, but some gas will escape here. And I put a hole up top. Argon's heavier than air, so technically the argon should fall down and push the air out. I'm going to run it at 5 or 7 maybe CFN. run the purge in there, let it clear out for, I don't know, 4 minutes or so, 4 minutes. And then once that's good, then I'll just start burning it all in, and hopefully it should completely protect and shield the other side of the weld and make no sugaring, no compromising of the weld. I only got 2 tacks on it right now, so yeah, we'll burn this thing in all good. Should be good, so we'll get this one done. Don't know if the camera will continue lasting. It only films 20 minutes at a time, so get this one, hook up the second one, do that, and then we can put them on the bike. Cut them to length, probably like 11.5 inches, just enough that we can still play once we get all the controls and stuff. So yeah, turn the gas on and get to welding. So here they are all finished up. Super happy with how the handlebars and the rear sets turned out. Sitting on the bike, it feels super comfortable. Happy with the riding position and everything. Yeah, we got a lot more to go. And as always, thanks for watching.